podcast started, we had videos uploaded, but for some reason, laptop couldn't do it. So we figured it out that we can go live on YouTube. So I think that's what we'll do now. We got to start working on YouTube, and so this is what we're gonna be doing. So let's start the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'm your host, Steven Yola, and you are listening to the Raider and the Saint podcast. You can hear it? Can you hear me too? Can you hear me too? You can't hear me? Okay. I mean, that's what happens with technology, dude. When you start working with the big dogs, you got to make sure you have the right equipment, boy.
Anybody here isn't up to it? I'm gonna give you one last chance to walk out that door right now.
It's fine, dude. I mean, I haven't been live in a while, but I'd rather be live on YouTube than
This
Instagram.
silver slice I have in here are 1,984 ounces of beer. Golden, delicious beer. And no one leaves here until we finish every single last drop.
And we are live. Once again, I want to thank my friends from around the world that tune in to the Raider Saint podcast. I mean, my listeners, but you guys are my friends, man. I consider you guys my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Raider Saint podcast. We have been through it, man. We have been through it for many years now, trying to figure things out, upgrading equipment. It just takes time, man. It just takes time to figure things out. And I have still 2 videos I got to upload on YouTube. I've been trying to upload those videos. So I talked to my tech guy. He's going to come over. He's going to help me out. That's usually when I need the big guns. You know, I try to figure everything out. But one video that I did by myself, that's already done. I try to upload it on YouTube on my phone. And it was just too much. My phone just won't handle it. We're not quite there yet. I mean, I can't wait till it gets to the point where I could just sit there in bed and just edit on my phone instead of a laptop. But things happen. But it is finished. I just got to put that video on my laptop and then have my laptop post on YouTube. And then the second video with the Dignity and Pride slate, shout out to Danny Herbert and Juan Vasquez. That video is not complete, but it doesn't take too long to complete it because I just got to add my intro and outro. That's it. There's no editing. There's no cutting on this show. We don't blurp or bleep or anything out, dude. We're just going to do what we usually do on the Radio State podcast is be truthful, be open, and be transparent. This is episode 239. Today's date is Monday, May 26th. It is Memorial Day. And like I said before in the past, we will not have guests on the holidays. I'm not going to bother people unless, you know, I mean, if they want to, but I'm not going to, you know, it's just family time. You know, especially Memorial Day. You know, before we get started, I would like to get a moment in silence to our fallen soldiers, regardless of what people think, you know, how we fight these wars, whatever. They fought the wars because they believed in America. They fought for our freedom. And that's what we remember them today. So let's get a moment in silence. All right. Yeah, it's Memorial Day. I was oh wait, info about the podcast. So if you guys want to be a guest on the show, you got comments, questions, suggestions, you can get a hold of me at theraiderandthesaint.com. That is theraiderandthesaint.com. Also, you can email me directly, theraiderandthesaint@outlook.com. That is theraiderandthesaint@outlook.com. My website is building. You know, we're building slowly but surely, but we're growing, and I like it. I love the challenge. I love the grind. But that will take you to my link tree. My link tree has all my links, and so now we're going live on YouTube. For me, it's easier for me to just go live because I don't do any editing. I think I've gotten good enough where I don't need to cut or do anything like that. Just, hey, dude, this is what we talked about. Boom, let's post it. We're gonna try this for now. I'm trying different things. I've been live on IG. I've tried Rumble. Rumble wasn't having it. I was posting videos on Spotify. I'm just trying different things, not for likes or looks, just what's easier for me. You got to understand, it's been me for years. I've had different people come and go, helpers. Not helpers, but assistants, people that I'm trying to teach, because these people that come in, I'm teaching them too. I'm teaching them how the equipment works, how to plug things in. I mean, eventually I would love to have all this at another, have my new guy here, James, and teach him, and he's willing to learn. He's 25. I'm 20 years older than him. He's a young buck. So I'm like, hey, dude, if I eventually, this equipment will be over there, and then my guest, and I could just be like a Joe Rogan and just be a badass. You know what I mean? But we're working there, you know what I mean? And I love the grind. I don't mind doing all this. It keeps me keeps my brain working. But yeah, I didn't even have anything planned today. I didn't have anything to discuss. I mean, my notes is like vague, like I could talk about certain things, you want to talk about JFK swimming in the swamp. We talk about UFOs abducting people. I mean, we could talk about stuff all day, but I didn't really do too much research about it. I guess the best thing to do is just talk about my week, I mean, everybody likes to hear stories, right? So after the podcast we had last week with Danny Herbert and Juan Vasquez, got a flood of calls, a lot of text messages. Even I wasn't able to post a video on YouTube. I was when I post the podcast, the audio version automatically uploads to the YouTube channel, and there was a comment there. Somebody did 3 big comments, say, do my due diligence. I didn't ask the right questions, and those, whatever, dude. But I know they called me Gax on the comments. So whoever called me Gax, that's someone that knows me personally. So I'm going to tell you personally, if you don't like my show, you don't like how I do interviews, then get your own show. Almost said the F word, but we're on YouTube now. I got to be respectful. Get your own show. If you want to be asked tough, super tough questions, look at our society. Look at how Donald Trump and they go on their interviews. They get their questions before. These are the only questions I'm going to answer. You try to ask questions that could potentially harm them or make them bad, they're not going to come on the show. They're going to say F that. And I talked to Danny Herbert. I talked to him on the phone for many hours, okay? And the first thing I said is I'm not going to be malicious, because he wanted the questions. I says, dude, I don't have questions. It's everything that I've learned about you by talking to everybody. What do you know about Danny Herbert? What do you know about Danny Herbert? But what's most importantly is what I think about him. I could tell you this, when I go to the meetings, when I have gone to the meetings, I sit in the front row. And when I see him there, he sits proper and he's dressed to the nines. And I texted him this one day. I says, I could tell, man, by the way he wears his shoes or has his shoes, or what type of shoes he has. He had some Stacey Adams, but he's always dressed nice. And I respect that. Not coming in wearing baggy clothes, big jackets, hat backwards. I mean, I get it. Every once in a while, flip it up, be casual. But these guys, they came dressed professionally. And even my assistant was like, man, these guys dressed, they came dressed, they're ready. And I respected that, But, what's going on in my local, we got a campaign. So people that are tuning in for the first time, please subscribe. Please like this episode. This is a rough draft, going live. This is my opinion. And I know you probably did you have your questions ready too for later on? Okay, that's fine. You can ask it again, but we'll talk a little bit about it. We got 3 slates. We got the Dignity Pride slate, Solidarity slate, and the Members First slate. Members First slate has won the past 2 elections, last election, by a very wide margin. I think it was like 1,600 votes to like 700 votes for the Solidarity. And so now we got a new slate, Dignity and Pride slate. And everybody's been saying, hey, these 2 slates ain't got a chance against the Members First slate. And I agree. Even though Danny Herbert was on the Members First slate for the last 2 campaigns, you got to think about votes. How many votes is he going to get? How many votes is he going to take from Jimenez? We don't know. We won't know till election time. But my opinion on this is that if you guys keep talking about this is for the members, we need a change, then do it for the members. Because everyone I talk to is saying they need a combined slate. So both you guys slates need to figure it out. Have a sit down and figure it out. And I get it, dude. A lot of you guys put in your personal money. You put in your personal money. I get it. If I had fucking $100,000, yes, I might not know shit about running a local, but I'm going to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm putting $100,000 in. I want to be a secretary treasurer. No problem. I don't care. Nah, dude, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. No. And I get it, dude. But you guys got to understand how much support you would get if you guys just sit there and combine. And I was thinking at night, I was like, man, if they did combine, what would the title be? Would it be Solidarity with Dignity and Pride? Or would it be Dignity and Pride with Solidarity? You know what I mean? Because like coming from both slates, you're gonna be like, no, we want our title first, or they want to. Like I'm thinking, like, well, what sounds better? You know what I mean? What's more catchy? Solidarity with Dignity and Pride, or Dignity and Pride with Solidarity? What's the right wording? Obviously, too, right? You don't want to sound dumb, too. I was thinking about that at night. But it's going to be a good campaign for all sides. I think everybody's in on it. Everybody's awake. They're aware. And I'm excited. It gives me content. It gives me things to come out here and talk about, even though I got things lined up. I actually met someone on my son's football team on Friday. Talk a little bit about my week. Who works for SpaceX. And we basically did a whole podcast just watching our sons play football. My son did pretty good. He had a sack, but he was doing good. He's looking good out there. They moved into middle linebacker from outside, which is crazy to me. I'm like, my son's playing middle. Inside linebacker is just beyond me. When I played, I was like 135 pounds. I was playing DB, wide receiver. There's no way I'd be inside linebacker. And he's right there with the big dogs, running in with the big lineman, weighing 300 pounds, and he's eating me out of house and home. It's kind of pissing me off, it's putting a dent in my wallet, but you know what I mean? My kids come first. So I got some podcasts lined up, don't worry about that. I always got podcasts lined up. And now that we're live, I can actually get phone calls. I'll be able to get phone calls in, and I'm excited. I'm very excited that now I could do video. I've been wanting to do video for a while. I wanted to get a shout out to Teddy Fugel. Sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. He's the one that blessed me with this new gift, the Rodecaster Pro 2. We did an episode maybe like a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Gave me a ride in his McLaren. Entrepreneur, self-made millionaire, really good guy. And it was crazy how it happened. He see me looking at that. He's like, "Go, you could use it." I go, "No, I had all my other equipment, my old. If you guys seen my old equipment, it was things everywhere." And he goes, "Be home tomorrow. Something's gonna show up for you." And the next day on Amazon, dude, showed up the Rode Procaster 2, and it took me about 3 months to finally open it up because I already knew what I had to do as a podcaster is like I had to learn how to use a machine. So I've been able to learn how to use this. Right? See? The applause. I mean, this thing does everything. And then I got my laptop that's recording the audio. Even though this thing could do it all, where I wouldn't need this. If you're watching video, if you guys are listening to audio, I'm pointing at my laptop and my Rodecaster. It's crazy. Learning these things, constantly learning. But my week was crazy, dude. So after the podcast, I think Danny and then Juan and my assistant, I think we talked for about another 30 minutes. And then after that, Danny left and I talked to Juan for a couple, about another 20 minutes. Just getting to know these guys. And came back, uploaded the video, the audio. And then I fell. I had a fall. Fucked up my hip. My hip still hurts as I'm sitting here right now. Fucked up my hip. Thought I broke my wrist. And woke up on Monday, dude. I couldn't even walk. I mean, I could barely. It hurt so bad. I was like almost ready to go to the ER. But I'm like, nah, dude. I can't miss work. I got to get to work. By Thursday, I get up to go to work. I said, I'm all right. Okay, dude, let me just start moving around. Let's start getting this going. Go in the restroom, wash up, do my thing, and I just start feeling nauseous. I start feeling really, really nauseous. And if you don't know me, I got a stomach of steel. I eat a lot of hot sauce. Not all the time, but I can hold my own. Never throw up. Even when people get the flu or throwing up, I don't throw up. I rarely throw up. I mean, it's rare. And I fucking threw up. I threw up in the sink. Just bleh, bleh, and like there was nothing in my stomach. It was just acid or whatever's in your stomach. And I just felt nauseous and I just felt sick. And I go, what the fuck's going on? So I end up calling out of work. And I'm just in bed all day, just feeling nauseous. And I don't like taking any type of medications, even though I'm on 2 medications for my heart. I'm on different, just 2, and they're the minimum dosage. And I'm really working hard to get off this medication. Doctor says you need to lose weight, and I've been on this weight loss journey. As you can see on camera, been putting in the work. Slowly and gradually. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. And went into work Friday. I went to the clinic, got my test shot. I'm on test for the new listeners. Your boy's on test now. Went in there, got my shot, driving to work, just feeling nauseous. But I'm like, hey, dude, I gotta work, dude. I got bills to pay. I got a family to support. And I had an 8-hour request. So I get in there, I got an 8-hour request, and what they're doing now is some people are not even honoring it. They're like, no, we can't honor it right now. You gotta file. But for me, I tell them, I'm open with management. I tell them what I'm going through. They can tune in the show and they can hear what I'm saying. And I'll sit there and tell my manager because even though we consider them the enemy, they're out to fire us. They just fired. We talked about it last week. They fired a shop steward alternate. You still got to be open with them. Even with my new manager, I have FMLA days. I use and feeling nauseous, man. Feeling nauseous. I mean, I'm on the phone with my wife. I'm on the phone, with one of my good friends. you know, just trying to get my mind off of feeling nauseous. And I haven't felt like I call my wife and I go, you know, after the third kid, that was it for her having kids. And I said, you know, I wanted maybe one more. And she goes, she just couldn't handle feeling that nauseous. Like she was all constantly throwing up, just nauseous. And it happens to some people, some women, you know, the symptoms, they're just horrible. And like, that's why we decided not to have another kid. It was just unbearable for her. And I've actually felt for her, you know, I was like, I know how it feels because I just was nauseous all day. And finally I took some Tums, I think like around 10:30, 11, and it went away enough to where I was like, all right, I got an 8-hour request, and I was able to actually give work away before I left the building. I threw out on about like 25 stops. Boom. And I just put my head down after that feeling went away of feeling nauseous. I put my head down and I started running. Not running like I'm fucking, you know what I mean, but I was running like just you know what it means by run. Not running literally, but I was like, okay, dude, let's just like let's dial in, let's focus. And I started focusing. Give me a second. Oh, bug in my drink. And I got through it. I think I got done by. So now they're saying, hey, well, we got you till 5:30. You got to work your full 8. So I said, well, give me whatever you think is a full 8. But if I get done earlier, I'll just opt out. I said my son had his final for spring ball, a scrimmage game, plus they had a ball drop. It was a fundraiser. So what they do with the fundraiser is you sell golf balls for $10. They put your name on the golf ball. They drop it. So the fire department from Fullerton, they show up with the big old truck and the big ladder, and they raise it all the way high. And they take a bag up there. They open up the bag, and the golf balls drop in a little circle. And whoever gets closest, winner gets $1,000. Second place 500. Third place 250. So I had to be there because I had a handful of drivers that had, you know, donated to my son's cause. Which thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. Here we go. And so I had to be there. It started at 4:30. So I just once the nausea went away, dude, it was go time. You know, it was just sweating. I mean, I took my breaks, took my lunch, but I was just like I don't know with the new testosterone that I'm taking, dude. I just sweat like crazy. Like setting up this equipment, Hopper could verify, dude. I was just drenched in sweat, and I'm not even working hard. Even when I go to the gym, I'm like, dude, I put a sweater on, shirt, and like my sweater, everything's just soaked. Like if I jumped in the pool, sweat's good. I mean, I don't mind sweating, but it's too much. Like when I'm working, like about 20, 30 minutes in, dude, like it just starts coming. And then during the cold time, it sucks because I'm just sweating. So you're sweating, and then you get that cold breeze when I'm in the hills. You get that cold breeze, and I hate that feeling. You know, because like you're sweating at times, and then when you're driving and your body's cooling down, your heart rate goes down, but you're getting that cold breeze, and I hate that feeling. So got the route done, got home by like 4, made it on time, you know, and I was tired. I got home and I was tired. I didn't want to go. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't feel good. But I sucked it up. I says, nah, dude, let me go. And I went. And that's how I met the SpaceX guy. But I got to see the golf ball drop. It ended up being 2 big old bags of golf balls. And sorry, guys, if you guys are listening that donated, you guys didn't win. Apologize for that. But thank you guys for your support. I've never gone into work to help for donations. I used to get donations from family that lived here, but everybody moved out of state. Everybody moved to Arizona, Utah, Texas. Everybody bounced. I said California's too expensive to live, so they all bounced. As a matter of fact, one of my wife's cousins just moved back with this family. I haven't got to talk to him, but I'd like to know what happened. But so yeah, that was Friday. Feeling sick. nauseous, no diarrhea or anything like that. So I didn't know what was wrong with me. I do suffer from heartburn here and there, but it wasn't that. And so Saturday I woke up. What day we on Monday? Yeah, Saturday I woke up and it finally hit me. Like I felt like I had the flu, no fever or anything like that. Had the I don't know what if something I ate. If I heard like a month ago there's some bug going around, nauseous and throwing up and shitting everywhere, and I think that's what I got. I don't know. My mom said something like the rhinovirus or something like that. I don't know why they call it that, but it was nasty because Saturdays that's when I started fucking, excuse my language, pissing out of my butt. I mean, it just started coming out, and I was like, okay, okay, but I was so drained, dude, so drained. Not like COVID, not like the flu, but it was like I was drained, and that right away I knew, okay, dude, let me go to the store. I went to the store. I started pounding the Gatorade electrolytes. I bought the Mexican Pedialyte one, and I just started pounding it like every 45 to an hour. Just take big gulps. Boop 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 boop. That was Saturday, and then Sunday morning, like I went to try to go to sleep Saturday. When I'm sick, I can't sleep. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm sick, I can't sleep. And then if I do, I have weird fucking nightmares, weird dreams. Like they're repetitive. They're just repetitive and like you're annoyed. I'm annoyed. I don't know. It's weird. And so I ended up waking up, dude, full body aches, weak, tired, dude. Went to the living room, try to watch some film and YouTube, fell asleep again, and then by because Saturday was my mom's birthday as well, and so I had called my mom at like 12, and I says, "Mom, happy birthday! I love you. We're going to dinner. Yeah, invited us to go to dinner," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to dinner." And then I called her. I says, "Mom, I don't feel good. I don't feel good." And this is like maybe they wanted to meet at like 5. So, but I wanted to go because I haven't ate. On top of this, I haven't been eating because I just feel so nauseous. I haven't been eating. It's just drinking water and fluids. By 4 o'clock, I got up and I says, you know what? I'm gonna push through it, and we're gonna go. So I ended up going because I was so hungry. I was looking at the menu. It was a Mexican restaurant, and I was like, oh, this food looks good. I want to try it out. And I says, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. So I went, and my dumbass, I overeat. I was just so hungry, dude. And the funny thing is, I ordered tortilla soup for my appetizer, and they didn't even bring it out to me. I totally forgot until like 10 o'clock at night. I go, wait a minute. I was telling my wife, I go, I shouldn't have ate that heavy food. I go, I should have been, having soup, but I was so hungry that I wanted to eat something. And I said, they didn't even get my tortilla soup. So, anyways, that was Saturday. Couldn't sleep Saturday. And then yesterday, Sunday, I woke up and started feeling a little bit better. Actually a lot better. And so I'm just, but like, once again, not eating, just drinking fluids. I'm resting, watching movies, watching, shows. No nauseous. Nauseous went away. The nausea, that's the right proper way, right? Nausea went away. And then we went to Costco yesterday. I says, we got to go to Costco. We're going to, we got to get food. My kids got 3 days of school left, and then they're on summer break. And yeah, my son eats me out of the house. So these kids, all they do is eat. So we had to go and stock up. We stocked up. And I started, feeling better. Just a little tired. I feel tired. I mean, last night we didn't get to bed till 3. I had a movie night with the family. Put a movie on. Went and got him some food. And once again, got me a chicken sandwich. And usually when it's like a cheat meal or something, like I eat it pretty. I mean, I don't eat a lot like a fucking obese guy, but I had a chicken sandwich and that was it. I was like, dude, I'm full. I'm full. But we ended up getting to bed by like 3. I think I ended up waking up at like 8. For some reason, since I've been on the test, like I don't get, they say 8 hours of sleep, and like at 5 I wake up, and I wake up like my body's like, Let's go," and I'm like, dude, like I'm tired, but my body's like, let's go. Like I don't know, it's a weird feeling. And I end up going into the living room once again. Uh, drank some water, watched some film, and just kind of closed my eyes. It's crazy because my parents, and if you guys listen to my other episodes, I was in the hospital. I had AFib. My parents got me a watch, and so my watch is connected to my phone now. And it's crazy, man. This thing actually does a lot of things. It tells me about my sleep patterns, my sleep levels. You got your REM sleep, your deep sleep. I mean, it gives you, and then it shows you when you hit those levels. So today I was looking at it. It was like I was just basically sleeping. I don't think I had any REM sleep. And then I woke up at 8, and I had a podcast at 12. I said, okay, I'm gonna get up at 11. So at 8:30, I just closed my eyes. I said, well, just close your eyes and just try to sleep. But when I'm sick, I cannot sleep, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks and I rarely get sick. I mean, yeah, I've had some issues with the cortisone, but it's I just did test, and I just had my echocardiogram. Actually, I got one of those guys coming on the show in June. We're gonna talk about the heart. But it's crazy, man, because like I have to stop thinking about it, Like I got all my tests, my blood work's good, everything's good. Learning about the body is important, you know, and everybody's different. I was at the testosterone clinic, and there was a guy in there. He was getting, I think he was on his like third shot. I'm asking how he feels. He says, I feel good. And I was telling him, because what happened to me, once again, if you listen to my shows, I tell you guys everything, what's going on with me. I wasn't using it, you know. When you put a steroid in you, you have to use it. You can't just take a steroid and just lay around. And for me, the beginning of January, I was getting used to the sleep apnea mask that work has me do now. The DOT requires me to use, and I was getting used to that. But then I got allergies, so my nose is always plugged up. It's just always closed up. So I was using Afrin, to open up my nasal passages, and that machine, you got to learn how to breathe with it. It's going to teach you how to breathe. And like, I've been struggling like to learn how to like breathe this machine. I was going through some things. Plus, I was on test, and I was going through like emotional problems. I was getting suicidal thoughts. I was getting severe depression. I was just like, I'm gonna get off this. It's not for me. It's not for me. Until my friend who used to do tests, he goes, dude, you got to use it. You got to go to the gym. You got to get up, move around. And I got up. I started hitting the gym, religiously and getting right. And I'm at that point now where I'm doing a lot better than January. But even at the TRT clinic, it says you got to do it for a year. You got to give it some time for it to, my testosterone levels was at 130. And for someone my age at 44, the lowest level is 300 and the highest is 600 at our age. And my recent tests show it's at 850. So I have this testosterone. It's there. You know what I mean? But my buddy says, you got to pretend you have a Ferrari parked in your driveway. Are you going to leave it parked there, or are you going to go and drive it? And I says, you're right. I got to get out there and I got to go fucking use it. And so when I go to work, when I've gone to work, I mean, it's game on. I don't wake up sore anymore, but I notice that I don't sleep as much. And I do feel tired in the morning. But that's something that I got to learn personally to get through. Everyone's tired. But when you get fucking old, I mean, 44 isn't old. Everybody's like, there's guys in there. There's guys that are 70 that are still driving. I don't know how they do it, but they're doing it, So I have to tell myself, hey, dude, you're healthy again. You're on the right track to get healthy. You got to keep going. You got to keep plugging away. And that's for me personally. It's like the greatest battle is me. It's me. It's my mind. I got to stop fucking thinking like that. I have to start being who I was in my 20s, dude. To go, let's go fucking get it. Let's go grind. And I have to get there mentally. But physically, I'm learning. You know, I went AFib about 3 weeks ago. And with the blood work and everything, they can tell what's going on. I had too much potassium. Why? Because I changed my diet. You know, I was fucking going out and eating fast food, hoagies, a lot of carbs, you know, plus my medication I'm taking creates a lot of potassium. So when I started taking not one shake, 2 shakes, I was taking too much potassium. When I came home from the hospital, it's the first thing I looked at. 30% in each of a daily value of potassium. So I was taking 60% of potassium a day alone with these 2 shakes, protein shakes. On top of it, the medication causes create more potassium. So too much potassium, because your heart's a muscle as well, cause it to spasm out. You know, AFib just means, but everything came back normal. You know, they even did a drug test. That all came back negative. Everything was good. So my greatest battle is up here. And that goes out to everybody because we struggle. I talked about mental health and all that, and I struggle with that every day. And it fucking sucks, you know, but I'm getting there. You know, I'm getting there. And I thank you guys for the support. You know, it means a lot. But anyways, I was going back at the clinic. I was telling that guy, you know, make sure you use it. You know what I mean? Because I was telling him my experience. Like I wasn't using it, and it didn't know what to do. And then when you take TRT, you start building estrogen and all that. I'm learning how the body works. And a doctor, he was there. He's taken over for, and we got not in a debate, but he was like, "That's not true. You could take it, and you could not have to work out, and you'll be fine." And I said, "Well, for me, I have to go to the gym. I have to move around because if it just builds up, I start getting fucking angry. You know, I start getting emotional. Like I have to fucking use this energy." And on this journey as being a podcaster, I've learned, you know, I've gotten advice from everybody, you know, and we take their advice. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Try the carnivore diet. Try doing this, do this, do this. And what I've learned is that there's almost 8 billion people on this planet, and everybody's different. Some people might need magnesium than other people. Some people might need more protein than other people. Some people might need more fluids than other people. Everybody's different. My body's different compared to yours. And I've gone on this journey where I got to learn what's good for me. And what was working for me was the protein shakes. I was okay, protein. I got the energy. I got my yogurt. I got some crackers, cheese, and so a little salami. This little packet I get at the Costco, and that sustains me. Then I got my snacks. You know, I got a trail mix. You know, I got a little bit of sugar in there and all that, and I just drink water all day. And that was working for me. So that's why I doubled my protein instead of going, you know, unpacking a sandwich or something like that. It would make me heavy. I would feel sluggish. I said, let's just do another protein, but it ended up being too much for my body. So I'm in the process of learning what I need for my body to be sustainable. You know, I hope you guys understand that. Everybody's different. I mean, continue to give it. You guys all give good advice. People I talk to, great advice, but everybody's different. You know, we all listen to Joe Rogan. We follow Joe Rogan's patterns. What works for Joe Rogan works for Joe Rogan. But it doesn't hurt to try. We got to try. As we get older, we're going to learn, you know, what our body needs. So yeah, that's what I've been going through this journey of what works for me, because my job is strenuous, especially with the route I took. I walked 10 miles a day, a lot of steep driveways, a lot of walking, strenuous walking, a lot of stairs. But I took it because I wanted to get in shape. I says I had a Wally run in the past. I was doing 4 deliveries, 4 pickups. I got fat, being lazy. I like my route, but now, I know, okay, I could be good and just go to the gym for 2 hours, an hour, get my pump in, get my exercise in, but I don't need to go out and do all that strenuous work that I've been doing. Everybody's different. Some people can do that for 30 years. Everybody's different. Not everybody's the same. But yeah, that's been my journey. So I know this new segment that we're doing, we got James here who's going to be asking us questions. James, you got your questions ready? Give me a second. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Before I ask the questions, I just want to say Happy Memorial Day to everyone that's listening and that served. Uh, your sacrifices that you've made for us to be able to even have a podcast go way further than anyone knows. So I just want to thank everyone that served. And second, you ready, Gax?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. My first question is gonna be different from the rest.
You know what? They heard you on the video. I didn't put you on record. Here. Go ahead. What's your first question?
All right. My first question is a little different. Recently, I believe last Wednesday, Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away at the age of 65. Jim Irsay was a big fixture in the NFL. He bought the Colts. He became the CEO a year before they drafted Peyton Manning. Before he was there, football didn't mean anything in Indiana. The only thing that mattered there was racing and basketball, but he really made a difference. You're a Raiders fan. I wouldn't say he was quite on the level of an Al Davis, but I would say he's probably like below Al Davis. What do you think about everything, that like he brought to the table, brought in Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, a lot of stuff, did good things. Party guy, did some bad too. But what's your thoughts on Jim Irsay passing away?
First of all, Jim Mercer, he was a carrying owner. From I know about him. I don't know too much about the Colts, but I know he was a carrying owner. How old was he?
He was 65.
Wow, that's young. I know he was a carrying owner. I love the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're a good team. They're a quiet team. You don't hear too much about them over here in the West Coast, but I don't know too much about them. But losing someone at 65, especially when you got that type of money, like I tell everybody on the show, we got great benefits. People need to. I know people work hard. I see a lot of guys that work 60 hours a week. They're taking care of their families and stacking up their chips. But the most important thing is we got great benefits and we need to take care of ourselves. I don't know what his situation. Do you know what he died of?
It just said that he died in his sleep.
Wow.
I know he was he was a party guy. He was kind of known for that.
Yeah.
So maybe just.
I mean, even if you do that, you got so much money, dude. You got to take care of your health. You got to check out your blood work. Get your blood work done. The blood is going to tell you everything what you need. And unfortunately, there shouldn't have been an excuse when you have that type of money. Going back to drivers that make good money, take care of your health. Just because you feel good, we don't know what's going inside. I know people that are like, they doctors consider me overweight, not obese, but I'm overweight. That's why I have to wear a mask because I have sleep apnea. There's guys that are skinny, thin as a twig that have sleep apnea. There's thousands of sleep problems that people go through that I've heard of. But, but then actually things happen too, though. You know what I mean? It's just when it's our time, it's our time. We don't know when it's our time. Only God knows. You know what I mean? So it's sad. But once again, only thing we could do is to take care of our health by going and getting blood work, getting your regular checkups, and taking care of it. And I get it. People get scared or whatever. They think they're doing good, but we got to we gotta use our benefits. That's what it's there for, dude. Take advantage of it. You know, I've ever since I had heart failure, you know what I mean? I had myocarditis and heart failure. They said I was bicuspid. Now I'm tricuspid. Now my heart's healthy. But now I go to the doctors. I watch what I eat. I watch what I do. I exercise. I'm taking care of my health. And I don't know. You know what I mean? It's sad. Things happen. I don't know. Maybe he was getting his blood work done. Maybe he was, seeing the doctors and something this happens. We just don't know.
Yeah, and to put a bow on that, his last tweet before he passed was "Go Pacers." So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2. Last week, of course, we had Danny Herbert and Juan Vasquez here.